This lesson today in syncing Python is going to be nested if-else statements. Okay, so we've already looked at control flow with an if-else statement. But now, what if we have more than just one condition? If we want to go ahead and nest one, so let's see what we're looking at. So, let's use something that takes a couple variables. So let's see a roller coaster. So, A, are you tall enough to ride a roller coaster? And then, what is your ticket price? Should you pay a child's price or an adult price? So, that'd be a good way to kind of demonstrate our control flow with nested if else statements. So, as usual, we'll go ahead and print welcome to roller coaster. All right. So let's do an input. We need to have an input. So I'm not going to go ahead and put too many bugs in this. I think we're past this point. So I'm going to go ahead and just do what we know we need to do. Inputs are strings, so we need to change it to an integer. Okay. What is our input going to be? What is your height in inches? Okay. There we go. Now, just for ease of use, I'm going to go with 5 foot. You got to be at least 5 foot to be able to ride the ride. Okay, so what is that in inches? 5 times 12 is 60 inches. Okay, and we're doing inches right now just because it's an easy way to get everything between 5 and 6 feet tall using inches. Okay, so if height is greater than or equal to 60, okay, basic if statement, what are we going to do? Well, let's go ahead and print. You can ride this roller coaster. Okay. Okay. Basic else statement. If you're not tall enough, what happens? We're going to go ahead and print, sorry, you are not tall enough. Okay. So that's our basic if else statement right there. Let's go ahead and save this. Let's go ahead and run it. Welcome to the roller coaster. How tall am I? I am 72 inches. I'm 6 foot tall. I can ride a roller coaster. Okay. Let's see again. Say one of my kids that are 40 inches. Oh, sorry, not tall enough to ride this ride. Okay, so we got that. But we still had to figure out how much we're paying. Okay. So let's look at this if else. If you're not tall enough to ride, so if you're under 60 inches, you're not paying anything because you're not riding. So our nested if else does not have to go into this else, right? We can ignore this part here. What we'll do is this is only pertains to those who are taller than 60 inches. Okay. So let's use the cutoff of 18. If age is greater than or equal to 18, what can we do? We're going to ask for $5. Okay. But if you're older than 18, okay, we don't have to write that condition. We've dealt with this before in control flow. Else is everything else. So 19, 20, 21, 65, 99, whatever age it is. So else covers all that. So we're going to print uh, pay $10. Okay. Now we have that. Put this here. Okay. So as you can see, this if statement is nested here because this only pertains to those who are over 60 inches, 60 inches or taller. This does not pertain to people who can't ride anyways. This is just basic logical operation right here. Let's go ahead and save that. Okay. So what are we missing? Well, we need to know how old they are, right? So we have this variable age here, but we haven't declared it anywhere. So we have height declared right here. So we could ask up here, and that'd be fine. Go ahead and get it out of the way. But people are going to be giving their ages when they don't even apply to being able to ride a ride. So it would make more sense to put it within this if statement, declare the variable that age equals, we're going to do another input. Of course, it's going to be an integer because we're using logical operation. Comparison. Input. What is your age? There we go. Now, if you are 60 inches or taller, then we're going to ask another question. We're not going to bug you with your age if you're not tall enough, anyways. I'm not going to be asking short little babies how old they are when it doesn't matter because they're not going to be riding a ride, anyways. Okay, so let's run this. Welcome to the roller coaster. Okay, scoot this up a little bit. How tall am I? Well, I'm 72 inches. I'm 6 foot. You can ride a roller coaster. What is my age? I am 44 years old. I'm paying the adult price for sure, $10. Okay? So let's see something else. So let's see, well, my oldest is actually 6 foot as well. So let's say, okay, he's going to ride 72 inches. What is his age? His age is 13. He's only paying $5. In reality, I'm only paying $5 to get him on the ride. Okay? Does this make sense here? We see this is how we nested this if statement inside of this if statement to get our multivariant control flow situation. Okay? Thank you. Please like and subscribe. And we're going to continue on with more of this control flow. We can also look at what if the situation is a little bit more complex, like we have variations in how much we pay. Let's say it's $5 as we just saw for my 13-year-old, but I've got younger kids, 10 and younger. Should they pay $5? Well, what if we change that and actually do what we call an elif statement? Okay. Now this statement, unlike the else at the bottom, which covers everything else, actually needs parameters. So the age is let's say less than or equal to 10, they're only going to pay $3. Okay. So let's say that. Let's run through this again. Okay. My oldest, 72 inches. He can ride the ride. He's 13. He's still paying 5. Next one is, let's say my daughter, 60 inches. Just tall enough to ride a ride. But her age, 10. We are paying $5. Let's see. All right, let's try this again. 70, 60 inches. Let's say the age is 9, paying $5. So what are we missing here? Python goes top to bottom. Okay. This is a good demonstration of what we need to look at. I cannot just add this age is less than or equal to 10 right here because what's going to happen? Okay, so it asks the height. We met the height requirement. Now it's asking what is the age, right? 9. Is 9 less than or equal to 18? Yes. So it's going to do this. Since it meets this requirement right here, it's never going to get to this elif statement. So that's why we're having this issue right here. So we actually need to do this. Okay, and then here, I change that to an if. Okay, so now we've debugged this, right? Let's look at this. We meet the height requirement of 60. Good. So now we're in this if statement, not this else statement. We go down. We put an age of 9. That meets this requirement, 3. Now, if my boy comes down here and he's 13, it's not going to meet this requirement. It's going to go to here. Okay? If I come in, it doesn't meet this requirement at 44, doesn't meet this requirement at 44, and goes down to here. Okay? Top to bottom. Let's try this. We're going to run it and see if we got it figured out now. Okay, so we're going to do daughter first, right at 60. Okay, she can ride. What is her age? 10. She's paying $3. That's right. That's what we were looking for, right? Let's go. Let's go, son. How tall is he? He's the same height as me. His age is 13. Okay, $5. Did not meet this requirement here at this if. Went to the elif. It did meet this requirement of less than or equal to 18, so it printed $5. Okay, let's go again. Me, I'm 6 foot. I'm in there. How old am I? 44. I'm paying the full 10. Comes down. My age does not meet this requirement. does not meet this requirement, and this else statement covers all the requirements. Okay. I hope that bug showed how with if else statements, especially when we get a little more complicated and throw in elif statements, else if statements, in Python it's elif statements. They have to be in this logical order here. Okay. Saw how when I just threw in this less than equal 10 down here, we never got to it because we're meeting the requirement a different way. And that's not what we were trying to accomplish. So let's go again. We'll go my younger son. He's 60. My youngest son, 55 inches. Now we see he does not meet this requirement, so we don't go into any of these. And we go directly down to here. He's not tall enough for the ride. Okay? So, my youngest being 8, let's give him a different. He's not going to have to pay $3. Or I'm not going to pay $3 for him, let's say. At 8, they're only going to pay $2. Okay, so let's think about this right now. Take a pause, the video. Where would you put that condition? How would you arrange this? You can put as many if statements as you need. Okay, one if, one else, as many of these as you need, elifs. Okay, where would you put my youngest, who is only 8 and is only going to pay $2? Pause it, come back, and we'll give a solution to it. Okay, so hopefully looking at the bug before and now looking how we fixed that bug, we would see that we would need to put this 8-year-old before this 10. So we would need to kind of make it a little bit easier for me. Make a copy there. Change that into an elif statement. Don't do it like that. Okay. And then add statement here. Change that to 8. Change that to 2. Okay. Oops. Okay. Are we being logical here? We are. 8 doesn't meet this condition. 10 doesn't meet this condition. 18 doesn't meet that condition. You're here. Right? No mistakes like we had before where we were getting hit here when we really should have been meeting this condition. Let's try it out. Okay. So we're going to go youngest for the sake of argument. We're going to say he's 60 inches, but he can ride. He is 8. What should his payment be? $2. Right? If we had put this 8 below as an elif below 10, he would have hit just the $10. I'm sorry, he'd hit this statement here and have to pay $3. We saw that mistake before. Now it should be clear how we have to align this. To make it even more, to make it even clearer, let's say there's a discount for people over 70. Take a pause. For people over 70, they only pay $7. Let's say people over 70 only pay $7. Pause the video, look at how we've arranged this control flow. Where would we put someone who is 70 or greater? Okay, let's look at this. We should be down past all these right here. Add in a lift. Age is greater than, equal to 70 to print what I say. We're only paying $7. Save this. What does this look like? Let's try. Okay, everyone's gonna be 60 inches. Let's go with 13-year-old. What should 13-year-old pay? 5. Okay, let's go again. Let's go 60 inches. Let's go 8, $2. Okay, still good. Let's go 60 inches. Let's go 80 years old, $7. Okay, let's go 72 inches, me. Let's go 44, 10. Okay, I did that way to show that by changing this to greater than or equal to 70, we were able to go ahead and put it as a elif and not have to put it as a else if or as the else. Okay. The other way we could have done this for uniformity reasons, and for what you might say might be a little cleaner way of doing this would be less equals 70, which would be me, 10, and then everyone above 70 pay 7. And all these are all less equal to's. Okay. Is this cleaner? Yeah, definitely cleaner. And let's see if it works. So, I'm 72 inches. I'm 44. Am I paying 10 or 7? 10. Okay. Let's see. 72 inches. Somebody who's 87. Okay. So that is the other way of doing that. You could have done either way. This technically is the cleaner way. Keeps it uniform all the way down. We know anyone that's 70 or below is going to be paying 10. And so that gives a discount in the else part for everyone that's above 70. Okay. The other ways also works, as I showed. This is cleaner. This would be the preferred method, but either way. So I hope this was helpful. Understanding control flow. Had a little bug in there. Helped to show how you have to be logical on how you use this. Let's go a little bit further on. Okay, now we're going to do a deeper look into the logical operators. We're going to use this same roller coaster scenario and we're going to add into this. Okay, so let's start and make sure that we understand logical operators. So if we look right here, let's go ahead and reset this. Let's say A equals 12. Okay, down here. We can say, we can ask, is A greater than 13, which would be false. Is A less than 13, which would be true. That's basically what we've been doing already with our control flow. But let's look at a little bit deeper here and see what we can do with these logical operators. First one being and, A-N-D, and. So we go A is greater than 10 and A is less than 13. What do we have? True, right? Because 12 is greater than 10 and it's less than 13. But for an and, as we saw in our screen, for and, both have to be right for this whole thing to be right. So if we did A is, let me do it right here. So evaluated that. So let's take the same thing here, copy, put it here, paste, but let's make this actually wrong, okay? Because we know that 12 is not greater than 13. So, but we do know that this is right. But if we're using the and logical operator, we actually get false. They both have to be right. Okay. Now let's look at or. So if we take the same right here, copy it, change this to or. In an or logical operator, only one of these have to be right. Okay. We saw that this here was false because this one is false. Even though this one's true, it comes out to false. Now this one's true, this one's false, but rather than an and, we're using an or, so we'll actually get true. So that's the or operator. And then we can also here, let's see what we can do as far as know that this has been shown false. We can use the not operator. So not A is greater than 13. We know that A greater than 13 is false because it's 12. Now we're using not A is greater than 13, and that is true. A greater than 13 is false. Not A greater than 13 is true. So here's three of our logical operators. We have and, they both have to be true, or only one of them have to be true. Not changes the condition. If it was false, it's going to true. If it was true, it's going to false. For example, we know that A is less than 13. We know that's true. A less than 13 as a not, now we're actually going to make it false. Even though this is true, we're using a not. So it's changing the condition to false. So let's see what we can do here. So let's say that the people running this roller coaster are giving a certain age group that may be going through like a midlife crisis or something like that. Let's say that they're giving them a free pass to ride a roller coaster. This is a unique thing. Uh, how can we change this using our logical operator and what we already have, what we already know as our control flow to get people between the age 45 and 55 a free ride? Okay. Go ahead and pause and see if you can figure that out. Take a moment just for fun. Come back and we'll solve it. So we're looking at 45, 55. If we place that condition, let me go ahead and hide this. We're going to clear that. If we put that condition, let's say in this else or down here, I would hit, we would hit this less than or equal to 70 before we would ever hit it. We ran into that issue before. So it would only make sense that we would come up here and place it in between the 18 and 70, right? That's where 45 and 55, 45 to 55 would live between the ages of 18 and 70. Not after 70, not before 18. So we got another elif statement. We want to be greater than or equal to 45. That gets the first, right? So if you're 45 or older, you enter into this part of the control flow. But it's not everyone that's 45 or older, right? So you also have to be what? You also have to be less than or equal to 55 to fall into this parameter. Because if we didn't have this right here, the and in this age, anyone over 45 or equal to 45 or older, well, 70 is equal to 45 and older, and everyone above 70 would be greater than or equal to 45. So here's a cutoff. These both have to be true. To keep it within 45 and 55, these both parameters have to be true. So what logical operator do we use? And. So if you fall between those two ages, go ahead and have a free ride on us. That's awfully nice of them. Does this make sense? Let's save it. So let's go. 72. I'm 6 foot tall. I'm 44. Do I fall into this? Do I get a free ride or do I pay $5? I mean, I pay $10. Sorry. Up this way. Let's say next year or in August when I turn 45. Let's try this again. I'll still be 6 feet tall, hopefully, but now I'm 45. I have a free ride then because I'm in middle age crisis. So, or what if I bring my grandfather along, who's also 6 foot tall, but his age is 88. He's only paying $7. See? So this is how we can use logical operators to change the essence of our argument, to even narrow it down even more. Right here. How'd you do on your practice? Were you able to figure that out? Was it a little confusing? This is something you just have to think about, get in your head, look over this tutorial a couple times, and if you can get this down, you're coming along nicely. You're coming along nicely, and you'll be ready to go further on. This type of understanding here is going to be very useful when you're making web applications and stuff like that to give it make your website more responsive and have it do certain things. This control flow right here is very helpful in that. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to support me on my Patreon, which will be in the ending credits. I'm going to be adding new material on my Patreon page for Patreons only. More dynamic stuff like actually creating websites, some websites I'm creating for people. I'm recording that and put that on there. So that's going to be, a couple steps ahead of what we're doing on the YouTube channel with getting the boot camp basic kind of stuff down. My Patreon will go into the further stuff using different kind of tools and stuff like that to create iOS apps, Android apps, web applications, websites that are responsive both to computers and cell phones. So jump on over there if you'd like to support me. And then for your support, I will be adding some specialized, higher level, let's do something type of lab on coding. Thank you very much.